DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, I hope you're all well. It is Thursday afternoon, and we finished early on Thursday because tomorrow is Good Friday, and a lot of companies in Switzerland have you finish an hour earlier. Would have that's on the eve of a holiday. That came from, in the old days, most stores were closed on holidays. It still is the case, but I get to that because, you know, if you were closed, let's say it was on depending on when the holiday was, and it was one of the big holidays, so that you could have time, you know, and do a little bit of shopping before the stores closed, because the stores did close usually at the same time. So that gave the people, you know, that little extra edge. Now tomorrow's Good Friday, so tomorrow on Good Friday, pretty well over here in Switzerland, all stores are closed. Saturday they'll be open. Sunday all stores are closed except for a few rare exceptions, like at the train stations, and a few rare exceptions. And it used to be on Easter Monday that everything was closed, and now more and more stores are cheating. They either get somehow a permission, or they say, well, we can pay the fine, it doesn't matter, we make enough money, or whatever. So I'm actually going to take a beer, and I'll tell you why. The other day, I was coming back. This is an Austrian beer. It's not anything special. It comes from Aldi's, but it's actually quite good, and it's very good for the price anyway. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. Well, beer will come up in the subject, but for another reason. So, bonjour. And so, having said that, you know, what happens is that I just said hello to my neighbor. I don't think he noticed me, actually. So what is up is that, oh goodness sakes, he made me lose a train of thought. Oh yeah, I was talking about beer. I was saying it was an Austrian beer, and why. And I was talking about the holidays. Okay, I guess I'm back. Must be age, because that'll be one of the things I was going to talk about. So, you know, as I was saying in a few of the vlogs lately, I've been giving these hygiene courses. And when I was coming back, one of the things I realized, actually, almost every course that I gave, it was rather surprising that I was either the oldest or really, you know, like in the 2-3 oldest people in the room. Actually, more often than not, I was actually the oldest person in the room. And I was giving particular examples. I just don't want to have Siri go on, and I was giving particular examples about, you know, food poisoning cases that happened due to hygiene problems. And one was a really big case here in Switzerland in the late 80s when 34 people died, actually, and a lot of people were sick. And so when I was giving that case, I all of a sudden realized, I was looking around, and I was saying, well, you know, a large part of the people in this room weren't even born when this happened. Have you even heard about it? And some had, because they're in the field, but actually, I would say probably the majority had not heard about it. The older ones had, but I mean, you know, only barely. You know, because I was talking about something that happened like about 30 some odd years ago. Okay. So my neighbor just left. I don't think he ever saw me wave at him. Anyway, because he was looking right in this direction, but he's quite elderly as well. So, yeah, and when I was saying I was going to get on with a beer thing, was that when I came back from one of those, which one now? I don't remember if it was the one, probably coming back from the one in Valais when I went through the Alps. Put a picture or two on Facebook. And I'd taken a beer, and it was in a can, and there was I saw there was a contest, and it said, well, on the clip, you know, like inside actually the opening, there was a number, and you could find out if you won something. And I actually did. So let's see what it is. Actually, I know what it is, but I'm just going to pull it out. Ooh. No. So it's a barbecue tong or whatever you want to call it, and so these pinchers. Well, let's see. They actually look like, and if they've got the company logo, well, they do actually. That's the logo of the company of the beer I was drinking. So it's a Swiss beer. I'll have to admit I don't actually like these ones very much. You know, you gotta really press to get them, but you know, it's rather good quality, I must admit. And you know, if you win something, you win something. That's nice. So I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Fauschlusken Beer Company. Maybe my name will be on there. On their webpage probably, because you know, it's the usual thing. Well, I mean, I didn't win anything special. It was one of those instant prizes, as they call them. Yeah. So it got me to thinking, though, nevertheless, when I was going on about that, because I'm like three years away from the official retirement age here, and I'm going to be sneezing any moment. My goodness, this is a horrible vlog, isn't it? Excuse me. I got a neighbor that made me lose my train of thought. I'm sneezing. There you are. Blowing my nose in front of everybody. Yeah. I guess that's what you call real life, isn't it? Well, yeah, so when I was going on about that and saying, well, I was looking at that and thinking, like, well, as you all know, or at least those who've been following me lately, my dad passed away early the 1st of March, actually. And, of course, you know, I mean, when you're my age, you can expect your parents are going, I was going to say, well, for the long trip eventually, for the big trip. But, you know, you kind of like don't think always about your own age. And, you know, the way that I tend to be a little bit nutty at times, I guess, if one could say that, is I kind of forget, you know, how, I guess, that I am moving on myself. And like I say, when I was giving this class, that happened. Or you have, you know, work colleagues, and they're actually, like, you know, like 7-8 years younger than your own children. Slowly, you know, you kind of realize that you're not even, I mean, like, you're older than their parents, and quite a bit actually older than their parents. Does it bug me? You know, not really. I say not really. You know, sometimes it makes me realize, like, oh wow, I do have. Well, if I live up to 90, which I probably won't, but I mean, if I lived up to 90, I'd have 2/3 of my life done. Which, in other words, I've probably got more than 2/3 of my life done. Do you think about it? Yeah, I guess you do sometimes, but usually it's just like, okay, I want to do that, and this, and probably when the realization of something like that comes is when all of a sudden you think, like, hey, wait a minute, buddy, you only got 3 years until retirement, and then at retirement, unless you keep on at a lower percentage, but if you, one way or another, from that age on, your revenue, your wages are going to go like way down. And so all these things, like, I could do this, I could do that, it's like, oh, well, maybe not. And then you think, well, for some things you think, like, it doesn't matter. I guess that's where a lot of the times you realize you got to have some good hobbies, but, you know, not automatically the most expensive hobbies, I guess. Geocaching's pretty good for that. Vlogging's okay. Vlogging has a problem. Well, you know, when you vlog, you know, there's I like it when people notice what you're doing, I suppose. But again, I've said it many times. I mean, vlogging for me is kind of like it's like a daily. That's not a daily journal, but it's like a journal. The other day, something funny happened. I maybe mentioned it. A friend of mine who really doesn't speak much English at all sent me a message asking what was my YouTube name, and I was a little bit surprised because you know, he, like I say, he barely speaks English. So when I asked him about it, if he was looking for anything in particular, he said, no, I just wanted to have a look and so on. But I said, yeah, okay, but you know they're all in English. Then he said, oh, I understand English. And I thought, like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so if you're listening, well, hello. Well, anyway, Yeah, is there much else to say? Not so much for the moment. I mean, like I think I've mentioned at the last vlog, but I can repeat it quickly. Since the family is coming over on Easter Sunday, well, we're making meals, so there'll be a lot of work to be done on Saturday. A bit on Sunday. Sunday morning, I'm going to we have a really early, well, almost a sunrise service, which I really like, actually, and have breakfast after. So I'm expecting to go to that one. That's at 6:30 in the morning. So I should be back here around 9 o'clock, something like that. And I told the people to come around 12:30. That gives me time, to keep on making what I was doing and have time, because we're making Chinese food, but North American style Chinese food in the for the most part. And so a lot of that stuff you actually make it a large part ahead of time and rewarm it, because there's going to be many plates and so on. So we'll see. I'm certain I've been talking. Oh goodness, 11 minutes. I gotta go. Nobody's going to watch this anyway, but still 11 minutes. Okay, so DC signing off. Everybody, take care and hope you have a good, blessed Easter weekend. Bye. Take care.